Don't just live for tomorrow, or just live in yesterday. Just be glad for all you have that's in today.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 5, Vento Aureo, Episode 1. So, we are here. We are in the fall 2018 anime season, and we are kicking things off today with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. So, I have seen the first 4 parts, and they're great. I'm currently even watching through Part 4, Diamond is Unbreakable, once again, as it airs on Toonami in the English dub, which is a lot better than I thought it'd be. Justin Briner is actually Koichi, which is surprisingly fitting. He's also the English dub voice of Izuku from My Hero. But either way, so I don't know much about Vento Aureo, or Golden Wind if you prefer. I believe it takes place like a few years after the events of Part 4. And it has a whole new cast. I've seen some of the character designs before. I don't know much of anything about them. I think I know one of the characters. I think their name is Giorno Giovanni or something like that. I'm not 100% confident on that though. I don't know the story. I don't know much of anything. I think I heard it takes place in Italy. I will say that. But yeah, otherwise I just really know nothing about this this part of JoJo. Every part so far though has been better than the last. Part 4 being my favorite of the series, beating out parts 1, 2, and 3. I'm really excited to see what they do with these characters in this one, what they introduce, and the just cool concepts of the stands that they can bring in. Because Part 4 really brought forth the idea that they could really do some really creative things with the stands. A lot more than I thought even with watching Part 3, so. But yeah, since I know pretty much nothing about this, plus I have to get uploading some stuff tonight as of recording this. I'm recording this on Friday, you're seeing it Saturday, but still. I have to upload stuff, edit and upload stuff tonight. We should just get in with this. So when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts, and will contain spoilers to the episode. So that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. Okay, and we are back, and we'll begin spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So, the first episode of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 5, Vento Aureo, or Golden Wind if you prefer. Interesting. Definitely caught my attention. Definitely has that JoJo feeling to it. But there's definitely some differences we introduced from the past parts. For one, our hero is a bit of a troublemaker. He's not like super mean or horrible or anything, but he's definitely a little bit of a crook and a criminal. He even like just outwardly admits that if he found a bag with, what was it, 100,000 I'm just gonna say dollars because I forgot what the name of the currency there is, but if he found a bag with that much money in it, he'd keep it instead of turning it into the authorities. And if he was caught by an undercover cop, he'd bribe the cop with half of it. And it's just like, this guy has no shame. He has no shame at all. He had no shame in stealing Koichi's luggage. He had no shame in killing Leaky Eye Luca. And it's just like, huh. Now, he doesn't seem like a altogether terrible person. And I definitely think he's one of those guys who is gonna, like, come around a bit more as the series goes on. Um, I see him almost kind of like Joseph, if you were to compare him to another JoJo. Joseph was a bit of a troublemaker as well. Even Jotaro at the beginning of Stardust Crusaders was a bit of a troublemaker. Um, I'd say he's comparable to them more so than Jonathan or Josuke, who were both very good people. So I like that we're going back into the more troublemaking JoJo with our main character. Now, Giorno Giovanna, or I forgot his like real name, his birth name, I guess. Um, we also find out that he is the son of Dio. But this raises a lot of questions, because if he's the new JoJo, that's an interesting concept that he's actually related to Dio instead of the Joestar line. Or is he somehow related to both? Could it be like Prince Zuko from Avatar The Last Airbender, who is both related to Fire Lord Sozin and Avatar Roku? Could it be like that kind of situation, where he has the ancestry of both sides? I think that would be pretty cool, to be honest. Pretty interesting. We have Koichi and Jotaro appearing again, which is good. I like that. I'm just really interested to see exactly where they take this with this character and his relation to Dio. They mentioned that his hair just suddenly turned blonde one day. Not dyed or anything. It just turned blonde, which is interesting. Yeah, but there's a lot of questions. Now, this also seems to be bringing in the concept of gangs. Now, gangs are not like a new concept necessarily to JoJo. Speedwagon was part of a street gang in part 1, before he ended up basically pledging his service to Jonathan and eventually founding the Speedwagon Foundation. He was part of this just ordinary little street gang and everything. So it's nothing new necessarily to JoJo. The idea of gangs have been there since the beginning, but this is different. This is more of like an Italian mob, a mafia almost. This kind of like knit together gang who are out there committing organized crime. And I like that. It's a new concept for the JoJo universe that really makes it feel fresh. While the basics concept of a gang has been shown in the series before, this kind of organized crime association hasn't. Not to this level, especially. So I'm really excited to see what they do with this. Now, we only know 2 people from there. Leaky Eye Luca, who is dead now, and then this Bruno guy, who probably has one of the creepier stands I've ever seen. I'd say it's kind of right up there with Red Hot Chili, or not Red Hot Chili Pepper, Vanilla Ice from Part 3. Red Hot Chili Pepper wasn't that creepy. He's from Part 4. But yeah, I'd say Bruno's stand is right up there with Vanilla Ice's stand. Which is Cream, by the way. Cream is the name of the stand. Vanilla Ice was the user. But yeah, this guy's stand, Bruno's stand, apparently he can put things in people's hands and mouths and stuff. Like, he put Luca's eyeball in Giorno's clenched fist. He put Luca's severed fingers inside Giorno's mouth. And it was really quick and sudden, too. So it's like, it's just this... Now, we see his powers also apparently have something to do with, like, unzipping a person, and, like, they have this, like, ethereal force inside them. So it's like he's sticking things inside them that way, I guess. I'm sure we're going to get the more specific details on his stand probably next episode. Or in the near future, at least. Now, Giorno's stand is interesting. He can take objects, and it seems like he can transform them, but it also seems like he can morph things, like morph any kind of like physical object. Like he can morph his ear to like fold it into his body. He can turn this luggage into a frog. He can he can do any of that kind of stuff. And the thing is, if I'm trying to figure out that the second part of his stand, because apparently if you try to attack him, attack something that he took of yours or something, the damage is turned back on you. Is that how it goes? Again, I feel like we need to get the more specific details of his stand, because it seems like both him and Bruno so far have some pretty complex stands. Which, I mean, I'm all for. I'm all for seeing stands that are more complex and less just basic and simple, because it allows us to build upon the concept of stands a lot more. So I'm all for that. But yeah, it's just, I'm trying to figure out how this all works, and if this is going to be the kind of route that this part is taking, we're going to be seeing some really interesting and unique concepts here, which I'm all for. So we are connecting to past parts again. We do have Koichi and Jotaro here, and this is connecting, but we also have the new characters. We have Giorno, and we have this gang, apparently. We don't know who the boss is. We just know two of the members, one of which is now dead. So I assume the series, the part is going to focus mostly on Giorno, and Koichi and Jotaro are probably going to be more of a side character role. They're probably going to be more along the lines of kind of how Jotaro was in Part 4. Jotaro in Part 4 was more of a side character, while Josuke, Okuyasu, and Koichi were the main heroes of the story. So I think it's probably going to end up being something along that line, just with Jotaro and Koichi this time, which I'd be fine with. I'm just still wondering exactly where this is going to go at this point. It's a really interesting way to kick off the new series. But I enjoyed it. I really did. I really thought this was a excitingly bizarre opening to this new part of JoJo. I thought it was just, yeah, we're back. This is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. This is what I was hoping for. It's not exactly what I was expecting. It's not exactly what I was thinking was going to happen from seeing the character designs and whatnot. But that's fine. I'm okay with being surprised and being thrown off every now and again. And this series is just going right at it from episode 1. It's not wasting any time, so kudos to that. And kudos to the mangaka, I cannot think of his name right now, for just not wasting any time, presumably in the manga as well. Provided this was accurate to the manga, I wouldn't know. Either way, I do want to thank you all for tuning in. Tell me in the comments below what you thought of this first episode of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 5, Vento Aureo, or Golden Wind. And yeah, tell me what your predictions and theories are for this going forward. If you have read the manga and whatnot and know what's going to happen, no spoilers, please. I want to remain spoiler-free on this. And just as a note, for those who might be wondering, I'm not going to be reacting to any of this fall season's anime yet. I might react to some of them down the line in the future, but I'm not reacting to them as they air this season. It's just JoJo this time, and that's because I just want to keep it to what we've got going for the anime currently. So, that being said, thank you all so much once again for tuning in. And for now, I'm Connie and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.
And though you've come through many obstacles, shed tears along the way, you're still standing, live, love, laugh.